Bye. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Twist. This is Alex. We have an amazing interview coming up. We're talking to a company that is not doing hyperscale data centers. They are not doing AI chips. Instead, we are going to the world of the physical. And while there will be some discussion of hair care products on the show today, I guarantee you my lack of hair will not make it boring. Instead, we're going to riff with a company called Formulate. They're doing more than one thing. I'm going to drill down into exactly what the future of the company is. But if you're curious about microfactories, CPGs, and the future of essentially on-demand products that are tailored for your personal chemistry, this is going to be for you. So please join me in welcoming, it's Usman Shah, co-founder and CEO of Formulate. Usman, hello. I know you're in California. Please tell the world how lovely it is in the Bay Area.
Every day. I think from now until November, it will be the same every day. So I'm enjoying it. We're in that window.
Yeah, my sister lives in Sunnyvale, and she literally has an avocado tree. And that's the dream right there. You know, I forget.
Yeah, the oranges, the oranges are, we pick them. They're all over our neighborhood. It's great.
Yeah. All we have here is like litter blowing down the street in Providence. Anyways, Formulate is a company that I was really excited to learn about because you're doing, as I said, more than one thing. There seems to be a split in the business. On one hand, you have a CPG brand doing hair and skincare products that are predicated on, as far as I can tell, the second half of the business, which is microfactories that are responsive to individuals' desires to have formulas for CPGs tweaked. That's my understanding, but Usman, always better from the horse's mouth. Tell me about what you're building.
Yeah, definitely. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, the tagline we're using, so what we're focused on now is that we're building the robotic kitchen for chemistry-driven products. So we're a full stack hardware and software platform that automates the batching process of any sort of, like, one investor called it goo. So any sort of liquid, cream, or gel. And what a lot of people don't realize is that one of the, I think this is kind of one of our core insights, is that the batching process is essentially the same across like a $3 trillion manufacturing market. So it's anything from personal care, pet care, pharmaceuticals, supplements, cleaning supplies, even industrial chemicals and sprays.
I want to pause you there. And batching process, for folks outside of your niche, what does that mean?
So the batching process is really just what you would do in a kitchen. Like, so if you took a pot, the process looks like this. You have got, let's say 10 raw materials, ingredients. They could be powders or liquids. You're precisely measuring them to weight, and then you're dosing them into the vat. In a manufacturing setting, typically it's, in a 1 to 300 gallon vat. And then you're mixing in multi-stages. A lot of times you're raising the temperature, mixing, cooling, raising again, creating an emulsion, especially if you're mixing water and oil. And those kind of stages are the same for any sort of mixture that kind of becomes a liquid. Again, it could be an agricultural spray or a face cream.
Or a stew, based on your cooking analogy. I feel like this is very, I didn't think we were going to talk about cooking today at all, but narrow down for me on the idea of goo. In my notes, I said they make goo. And so I'm glad to be very, very similar to what you guys
I didn't even give that to you. That's amazing. Yeah.
What kinds of goo do you currently make? And then what kinds of goo can your company's microfactories, which we'll focus on in a second, produce? I'm curious about the range, if that makes sense.
So we're focused today on what kind of falls under the cosmetic, the nomenclature used by the FDA and regulation is for cosmetics is anything you put on your body that's not a drug. So that's oral care, personal care, certain oral care products, pet care, home cleaning supplies. That's not put on your body, but the same type of process. So we're focused on challenger brands up and coming, that are looking for manufacturing, and we're utilizing our production system to basically offer full automated manufacturing, lower minimum order quantities, more variability per product line.
I've mentioned your current kind of CPG brand several times, and you've each time dodged it like you're in the Matrix. So I presume, just based on your answers here, that the stuff on formulate.co, your website, is not the main focus. Instead, it is the production process, the machines, the kitchen for chemistry that is the future of the business. Just before we get into that, though, are you guys going to keep doing your own CPG products, or is that going to eventually become entirely deprecated as you focus on being more of a provider than a brand yourself?
Well, so it's interesting you say it. So I started with this vision to create the 3D printer for personalization across these categories. And, everyone talks about the world moving towards more personalization. Everything you put on your body is going to be customized. And, we bootstrapped the business. I launched the brand to drive revenue because when I started, I had no idea if the system would work. And the focus was to use data to use personalization to basically enhance efficacy over time. Using that data to get better and better and better. So what we set out to do actually worked. We built 2 generations of our kind of microfactory system, but along the way, a couple of years in, and by the way, this is like in the window of time when I met Jason for the first time.
Sure.
I realized that the world really wasn't quite ready for edge, like manufacturing at the edge personalization across all the categories we're talking about. And that personalization really would show up more as a niche, more and more niche products, more and more regional. Like this explosion of niche brands and micro-targeted products is really the manifestation of personalization versus individual bottle customization. While it still will have kind of its place in the world, and we are in it, I think the bigger opportunity is actually around small batch automation. So not per bottle customization, but a little bit larger. Still near the edge, but not literally at your salon, as an example. And so the brand itself, we are going to keep it alive. It's a great learning, playground for us. A lot of the learnings and the tools that we're building for the brand, we then bring to other brands. So it's a great kind of case study going forward. So I think we'll keep it alive.
Okay. Now you said earlier at the edge, and that's a very interesting phrase because I tend to hear that mostly in an electronics context. People talk about, like edge computing, edge security, and so forth. Essentially, the devices that are at the furthest away from the data center is the way that I think about it.